In order for us to grow individually and as a whole, these conversations are necessary. Let's get it. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Empowering Real Talk. It's your girl, Coach K, and I am back with a very powerful conversation that I really want to have with y'all today. So before I even get started, please make sure you have subscribed to the Upgraded MindsetZ YouTube channel. Make sure you have subscribed, followed, liked, commented, rated, reviewed the Empowering Real Talk podcast on your favorite streaming platform. I promise I'm not going to be here for a long time, but I need to be here for an impactful time because I want to tell y'all that I want to get us out of that mindset of feeling like that it's too late for us to make changes. Now, let me tell you what prompted this conversation and this topic. As you guys know, I work with women. I help them discover their purpose, activate it, align it, and elevate it. We talk about all things personal. We talk about the business. A lot of women are wanting to become business owners. So I have these conversations. In working with me, whether you're wanting to start your business, we do still have to discuss the personal things because you have to be in alignment with what it is that you're trying to do when it comes to your purpose and activating that. So I've had a few conversations here in the last couple of weeks with women who have come, booked the consultation with me, and we talk about what they're trying to do. So I've heard, oh, well, I'm just really trying to start the business. I'm not really trying to change anything on the personal level right now. Okay. Now, one would hear that and be like, well, what's wrong with that? Another one is, oh, well, I'm good with how I am. People know how I am. They know how I get, and, they just got to deal with that. Both of those things are red flags. Yes, they are. And I'm about to dig into why. And this is what prompted me to have this conversation about why it's never too late to reinvent ourselves. All right. First off, you can never sit here and tell me that people just got to deal with how you are. Because if you're coming to me to work with me on whatever level, that's a red flag to me. And honestly, I'm going to really contemplate if I'm going to work with you. Two, you have a fixed mindset. And that means that you don't believe that you have any flaws. You don't believe that you have any room to grow in any way, shape, or form. That is so many reasons why a lot of us struggle. I have had conversations also where people be like, well, I'm just focusing on the kids and just making sure, my family's happy and stuff like that. We lose ourselves so much when we say that. Who are you? Yes, you're a mom. Yes, you're a wife. Yes, you're a business owner. But who are you as a woman, as an individual? And we cannot answer that. So when I work with women, that's what we're doing. We're figuring out who you are. And once we figure out who you are, then we're going to discover what your passion is and what your purpose is in life. And it is never too late to figure those things out. I started my journey in 2020. I was 44 years old when I started this journey that you see me on right now. It is a journey of speaking up for myself. It is a journey of being very unapologetic about my journey, but also being unapologetic about what I talk about and when I say it, how I say it. I had to work to get here, y'all. Hard. And I still do to this day. But that myth of it being too late for you to make change, yeah, transformation is possible at any stage in your life. Reinvention is necessary because that's going to help you figure out who your authentic self is. Because again, you're more than just a mom and a wife and a daughter and a worker, an employee. You're more than all of those titles. And you've got to figure that out. Those are barriers, right? Those titles are just that, titles. And I'm using air quotes on that. You've got to start figuring out who you want to be. I know society has depicted, and especially now, society has depicted that we are supposed to be a certain way. We are supposed to follow a certain criteria. If I followed that criteria, y'all, I wouldn't be sitting here today on Empowering Real Talk, on Upgraded MindsetZ Media, with a business too, I might add. I wouldn't be here. You've got to break free from the societal expectations. We don't have to go by what society says we have to do. Okay? That is a crutch that we are breaking. Bust that mental crutch right over the head, baby, because we're breaking free from that. It is never too late for you to elevate in life. All right? I know a lot of times we will fall into the realm of what society feels we should be doing because we just don't know what we want. So we default. So many of us default to just what we believe we're supposed to be doing because we have not taken the time to figure out what it is that we're supposed to be doing. We are attached to old identities. We're attached to them titles. We attached to routines. Oh, yeah, I got to make sure that my kids are good. Nobody's taken away from that. But when did the game plan solidify? Or let me say this. When was it said and put in writing for you as a contract that you did not need to prioritize yourself? What part of the contract did you sign? Did you sign one? Right. You did not sign any agreement that said that you had to be a wife, a mother, a daughter, an employee, a business owner, and not be able to know who you are as a woman or a man. Because let's just keep it real. Men have it as just as bad, right? Because they're put to a standard of, oh, I can't be weak. I can't cry. I can't have emotions. If you know me, you know we are done with that. As a reformed tough girl, well, I ain't gonna say reformed, as a reformed, suppressed emotion tough girl, I never used to cry in front of anybody. If I cried, ooh, that cry was ugly because it was from months or days and weeks of me holding it in. I don't do that no more. And I advocate for us to not do that anymore. It is okay to express your emotions. It is okay to have those emotions. I encourage that because that is a part of us being mentally and physically healthy. You've got to figure out what it is that you want. And I know I say this and it may sound repetitive, but do you realize on average an average person needs to hear something 7 to 8 to 10 times before it finally resonates? It's never too late for you to change. But you also got to realize that you have to want to change. Part of my journey, and I get so discouraged with it sometimes, is when I have clients or ex-clients that feel like that I'm supposed to go harder than them when it comes to their growth. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. You have the power to change. You have the power to make whatever necessary shifts are required to do so. But I get frustrated because you be like, oh, well, if I do that, then this person's not going to like it. And I'm afraid of what this person's going to say. Again, societal stigmas. Who cares what anybody else has to say? Do y'all realize how many people I have lost on this journey? I've been on this journey for 5 years and I have lost friends. I have lost family. And I'm not talking about through death. I don't hate anybody, but I also don't have any regrets as to what I had to go through to get where I am today. I don't know if y'all have read my book, From Havoc to Healing, 30 Days of Reconditioning. If you have not, it is available on Amazon, but it also is available on my website. But that was a journal that I wrote in 2020. And the crazy thing is I predicted a few things in that journal. When I published that in 2023, a few of the things that I predicted in that journal had already happened. Because I knew that there were going to have to be hella changes. And I didn't know what that looked like at the time. I can't lie, but I knew what I was tired of. I knew I was tired of living for everybody else. I knew I was tired of suppressing those things and making it seem like I was okay, because you could ask the average person that was around me before 2020 and they'll tell you, oh, Keisha, I don't know what Keisha talking about. Keisha, she ain't make it seem like she was going through it, because I hid it. I suppressed it. That's what we do when we don't want people to know that we're going through shit. We hide it. I made the changes that I needed to make. Stop feeling like that you have to tackle these things by yourself. Stop feeling like that you got to confide in people that you know have kicked you in the ass before. If you don't see them making any changes and you ain't made any changes, explain to me how you feel like taking something to them again is going to change. You got to find trusted individuals, whether that's therapy, whether that is counseling, support groups. All of these things are out there. If that's what you have to do in order for you to begin changing and transforming and breaking that myth that it is too late for you to do that, then let's get on top of it. I advocate for our mental health, for those with mental health conditions. I am the current president for our local NAMI affiliate here, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I'm going to do what I got to do, not only for my community, my peers, but damn it, for me. And I want you to do the same thing. So, as you work on reinventing yourself, here's what I want you to understand. You can't keep it all in here. I'm always putting something on paper, because as somebody who has a growth mindset, I understand that I can't keep it cluttered in here, because that's when the circle is just the circle. That hamster wheel starts spinning. We got to break away from that. Put it on paper. What part of your life feels outdated or misaligned? That is a powerful question. Put that on paper right now. What part of your life feels outdated or misaligned? Ask yourself. I know you're scared to really dig and figure that out, but you got to. We got to be able to do the work so we can become the most healthy versions of ourselves, mentally, physically, emotionally. And if you're wanting to create wealth for yourself, financially, you got to visualize who you want to be. Don't wish, visualize it like it's already happening. I visualize myself as a successful 8-figure earning coach that's getting on planes every week or every other week to go speak, or being on panels and getting 6 and 7-figure speaking engagements. Baby, I'm claiming that for me. You got to claim what you want for you and then put the action in to make it happen. And that requires you shaking that myth that is too late for you. Let me say this, because a lot of y'all feel like that you don't need to continually educate yourself when it comes to growth and development. Having a growth mindset, that's a requirement. Whether you take some free classes, some free courses, webinars, seminars, be open to doing that stuff, y'all. Y'all will sit on social media and scroll and watch these drama, watch baddies and watch all of this BS, but you won't take that same 30 and 60 minutes or the hours that you binge watch these reality shows. You won't take a fraction of that and watch some continuing education. Hell, you can go to YouTube University and find some things that'll help you build, that'll help you learn more about yourself personally. My personal requirement is to hire a coach. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a coach, because I have a coach, have a mentor. I have people that are here to truly support me and help me be better, to hold me accountable, to give me plays, to help me with strategies, all of that. Not just as a business owner, but as a person that wants to continue to grow personally. You've got to do the work. You've got to want the work done for yourself. Because I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all be talking about y'all want change, but when it's time to actually put it to the metal, baby, y'all ain't about that for real. Let me just I ain't gonna rant at y'all too long, but this has been sitting on my heart ever since, like I said, the last month. It seems like I've had these conversations because I'm tired of us shrinking ourselves. I'm tired of us not putting ourselves first because we don't realize that putting ourselves first is going to benefit everybody around us. Did you write that question down? What parts of my life feels outdated or misaligned? Listen, I say what I say. I have these conversations because I want to be a part of the change that I really want to see with us. So whether you are a woman who is listening to this, maybe with tears in their eyes, because I done hit some nerves, or if you a man that's vibing with Empowering Real Talk and you like, man, she hit a point with that. It is okay for me to show my emotions. But I also want y'all all to understand that it is definitely necessary for you to discover who you are, figure that out, do the work to make that happen. When I tell y'all, I wake up every day with a renewed sense of energy just because I know that I have the power to shape my day. I have the power to be who I want to be. Am I there yet? I am not, but baby, I am putting in the work to make that happen. It is never too late to elevate. If you are somebody who is struggling to try to figure that out, please do not hesitate to reach out. I do complimentary consultations all the time so I can listen to you and tell you what it is that I can do to help you, or maybe even provide you with some resources that can get you to the journey of helping yourself. I want y'all feedback on this episode. Now, before we get out of here, I want you to commit to one thing that you can do to make a better shift for yourself. When you listen to this, give yourself a week timeline to make a small sacrificial change in your life. Because in order for you to continue that journey and adopt the mindset that you have the power to do it so you can do it, you got to make some changes. And I'm going to use the word sacrifice. That's really one of my words for 2026, to be honest. Because I'm sacrificing anything, and I'm going to say it again, anything that is not for my better good or my better elevation. All right, y'all. I'm done ranting. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Make sure you have subscribed. Share this with somebody who need to hear these words too. Because you may need it to hear it, but now that you've heard it, and now it gave you a little bit of, "Ooh, Keisha, you ain't have to treat me like that." I want you to share it with somebody else so they can get that same vibe. Because in order for us to grow individually and as a whole, these conversations are necessary. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Don't hesitate to reach out, y'all, if you need me. I'll holler back, baby.